This hangout is on the air live. Hey, everybody. It's Sean at S1Rude on the Twitter machine from CagesideSeats.com. And it is Survivor Series weekend. It is the Sunday of such. I think the pre-show starts in 10 minutes. So we're going to try to fill in some time here talking about last night's show, TakeOver Toronto. And because Gino doesn't really watch Japan or any other wrestling, I don't think. He's not here. He's got a lot of work to do anyway. But I brought... if you know her on Cage Side, she is Our Lady Justice. On Twitter, she is. I always thought it was Dia because I'm an idiot, but it's just D. Hey, just D.
Hi, Sean. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful. It is a glorious day to talk about NXT. I guess every day is a glorious day to talk about NXT. I think.
I would agree with you on that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I spent a lot. I get a little defensive about NXT. Do you feel that way these days? You're on the Twitter machine a lot. Do you feel like
I get defensive about everything, but whether I actually say anything about it or not is another story. Because sometimes I start typing something out and I'm like, you know what? Don't go there. Don't you go there because you're. Because I've definitely almost railed a whole bunch of people and been like, you know what? Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
See, that's another thing we have in common. So this is actually the first time that Dee and I have ever spoken. We have been Twitter buds for a while. We chat in cage side threads or whatever you call those things, the comment area down there below the thing. And every time we always find out that we have a lot of stuff. We like the same kind of stuff. And this is another one because I do that. I must pre-delete my tweets 7 times a day. I'm like, I'm going to tell this so-and-so what for. And then I'm like, you know what? But then I'm going to have to talk to them some more. And it's going to be a whole thing. And I don't want to do it. And I just, there you go.
Yeah, no. And also we're old.
That's true too. We're smart. I was going to say smart, but old is probably more like it. Probably 10 years ago, we both would have been firing those tweets off and fuck you.
Absolutely. Definitely. No, I'm just kind of, part of the wrestling community. I just kind of have issues with, but it's maybe I'm starting to think that it might be because I'm old and cranky and stuck in my ways. But there's a lot of people out there I just would like to punch right through the internet. But in general, I think everybody is good.
There you go. I'm of the same. I just don't. I guess I'm just aware. I'm picking my battles. I guess that's the old thing. It's I don't want to fight with you about Will Ospreay, or I have an opinion. I'm probably not going to change your mind, and I know you're not going to change mine probably. So there you go. But anyway, so that was what. So I kind of, this was my frame for the TakeOver recap was I felt like I spent most of the afternoon yesterday with people telling me, oh, I forgot it was a TakeOver. What happened? NXT used to be good, blah, blah, blah. And I was getting a little chip on my shoulder about it. And
shut up. Shame on you. What do you mean? Oh, I forgot there was a TakeOver. They've been advertising this. I mean, not as heavily as before, but it's not like the brand has gone to absolute garbage.
Right. I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I agree. I mean, there's definitely, one thing I think is people compare it to well, it's not as good as it was in 2014, early 2015. That was a perfect wrestling show for 6 months, practically. And so we're still comparing it to that. That's a problem, I guess. And the other, I mean, it's still just solid. I mean, if you like wrestling, if you like good wrestling with standard, no frills, I just want to beat that guy up stories. NXT is the place to go for it, I think. So it's, yeah, to me, it's everybody's got and everybody's got, I don't know, everybody's got why do wrestling fans, why do you, I don't know. This is, I ask a lot of questions that are just my excuse to give my opinion. So just feel free to tell me to shut up.
I don't know. Just ask away, man.
So I feel like a lot of people's love of NXT has transferred over to SmackDown. And I don't understand why, with wrestling fans, I guess it's true of a lot of things. Why do people feel like they have to have one thing to champion? They can't, you can't, and we can't just say NXT is still good and SmackDown's great. It's got to be I'm devoting all my energy into SmackDown now.
I think it's contrarianism.
Am I wrong on this?
No, I don't think you're wrong. I think it's people this is actually probably not a very nice thing to say, but I think that a lot of people kind of want to go for what's the thing that's the Fuck, it's I don't know. It's like the whole. I hate to say this, but it's kind of like with Daniel Bryan. It's like, oh, this is what we want. And it's not necessarily what's actually good, because I think that SmackDown has just as many problems as Raw does, and in some cases, I actually tend to watch Raw more often than I watch SmackDown, simply because there's certain things on SmackDown that I could not give a shit less about,
Yeah.
and I mean, if I had to pick a favorite, I still pick NXT, because I at least like to watch these people who are, new and trying to do something different and trying to come up, and, some of their promos are terribly cringeworthy, but
Mm-hmm.
at least I get to watch really good wrestling. And ultimately that's what I want to watch. Is I want to watch some really good fights. I want to see some good stuff. I want to be like, oh my God, I want that feeling. And I just don't always get, like, the more wrestling, the better for me, honestly. I like stories too, but there's a lot of that I'm just like, I don't want to listen to you talk. Like, I like absolutely nothing about you except for what you do in the ring. So please just shut your mouth, get in the ring, and beat some people up. This is what I want. This is
Nice.
what I want. So I don't know. Like I said, I was saying that I think that, people just, they like to have their thing, and then they'll move on to their next thing. Because, like, how many people totally forgot about Sami Zayn for a while there?
Yep.
Just like the show seemed to forget it. People weren't getting angry. Like, oh, where's Sami? Well, just saying, he's trying to do something. So
I think that I don't know when it's going to take, but there'll be a point where SmackDown won't be the shiny new cool thing anymore, and we'll have moved on to other things. I mean, I think another thing is another show that's like that. I think what that really strikes me as people having like a contrary reaction to is Lucha Underground. It's like people thought it was great in season 1, and now there's still a lot of people who still think it's great. Lady J is a big champion of it, and I still tune in for it. I'm not as passionate about it myself. I think it's like a too much wrestling problem, but I think there are a lot of people who are just like, no, that show sucks and you're wrong for liking it. That I don't understand that approach.
I don't understand that at all. Like, I don't understand why anybody would say, like, you're wrong for liking something. Like, how am I wrong because I like something? You know what? I'm going to say it. I like Roman Reigns, and I don't give a shit if anybody else doesn't like him. He's a nice dude, and he's a great wrestler, and I don't care if he can't talk.
You go, girl.
He's fine to me.
Yeah,
he's fine to me.
You don't want to hear him talking all the time anyway. So
I don't need that. All I need is for him to go in there, start punching people, and doing stuff. And I'm always excited when he does something that's not something I've seen him do regularly. So, whatever.
Yeah, I think he is. Okay. I mean, yeah, that was a while. Like early on, like one of the first pushback things for his singles push was that he wasn't a good wrestler. Which is, I mean, he's definitely grown and he had places that he needed to work on. But I never understood that argument. It's like he does the same impressive shit you marked out for when there were 3 of them doing it, and he was the one guy. And now all of a sudden, because Seth and Dean aren't standing next to him, it's not good anymore. Stupid wrestling fans. All right. I'm getting cranky already, and we haven't even talked about a show that I think we both liked.
We did.
So let me get out of that. All right. So TakeOver. So you decided to not go out and see live wrestling last night because you wanted to see TakeOver live.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
What show did you pass on?
It was a Lucha Libre show. Because I'm in California, so we get a lot of Lucha, type stuff. And there was a good one that was up at San Francisco State University last night, which I skipped it because I wanted to watch TakeOver, because you can't tell me no when the Revival is going to be on the screen.
There you go. So that's spoiler. We're going to go in match order, but spoiler alert, there might be some like high-pitched noises and just some other things when we get to match 3, because we both like Dash and Dawson a lot. Dee has named her cats Dash and Dawson, so that's pretty awesome.
Whatever, you totally named some of your foster cats.
A couple of our fosters were Dash and Dawson. See, my names don't matter though, because it's whatever Julie, whatever my wife decides, that's the official name. So I can just call them whatever I want off in my little corner of the universe. And like the last 3 we had, they weren't really the broken-hearted universe family, but to me they were. So that's all right.
But they were cute. And no, I mean, we actually talked for a long time about what we would name these cats when we got them, and like Dash and Dawson was what stuck. That's how much I love the Revival. I had to have my cats, who are little kids, and name them after my favorite tag team, the best tag team on the planet.
on the planet, exactly. And this, I mean, it's just cool names, Dash and Dawson. I mean, that's they could. The thing, one of the great things we're going to start marking out about the revival right now, aren't we? One of the great things about Dash and Dawson is that they've had all these like official and unofficial names, and they're all cool. Like it took me a while to warm up on the revival actually, because the Orlando Wrecking Crew and the Mechanics were just such dope names that like let down. But so now we have those and the revival, which still fits them, and Dash and Dawson is just a cool, awesome name for people who wrestle really well.
Dash, that's a great name. It is both a good wrestler name and a good porno name, like he said on the Ed and Christian show.
True, it is. It is.
I was just like, dang, that's a great name. Anyways, you know what? I wanted to ask you before we start talking about the actual matches.
Okay.
What did you think about there being only 5 on the card? Like, did you think they were going to add something else at the last minute? Because don't they usually do 6, right?
I thought heading into Wednesday that they really were. I think, and I guess they did it as a dark match. So we'll probably get it Wednesday. I thought the Liv Morgan, Aaliyah versus whatever we call Peyton and Billy feud was going to get added.
The best friends.
Is that? But I thought Chris Jericho like ethered them on Instagram for calling themselves the best friends. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did, but they don't care. Like, would you care if you were them?
That's actually true. If you're big heels and you're attractive Australian women who can wrestle pretty good, I wouldn't care. Yeah.
I just want to watch them wrestle.
Yeah. I thought that they would going into that. I didn't. There was like a rumor going around that would get added like at the last minute. But I mean, obviously there wasn't any time to kill. They didn't announce an overrun. What did it go to? About 10:20-ish?
I don't know. It was
what is that?
My time it was
like 3 in the afternoon or something, you know.
Well, yeah, I was like, you know, my roommate was asking me, she was saying to me, like, what time does TakeOver start? And I was like, I think the pre-show starts at 4:30. And then when I turned the pre-show on, I immediately regretted it.
All right, well, let's talk about the pre-show. Let's start at the very beginning. So, Charlie Caruso.
Oh my God, stop yelling. Like, she seems like such a nice person. She seems like she has, you know, decent things to say, and she's a little more cohesive than some other people who might have been on the pre-show. But yelling, I was like, it was that loud in there that you had to yell the whole time, or are you just so excited? So
that was kind of a rough panel. So what are your thoughts on Morrow? I feel like he's kind of a divisive character.
I really respect and admire Morrow, but I also would like for him to not talk sometimes, which is bad when you're an announcer. But I mean, he does a really good job of calling like play-by-play. But I wouldn't say that I could do without some of his enthusiasm. Like I'm one of those people who, like, if I feel bombarded by your enthusiasm, then you need to turn it down, because I'm an extrovert, and the fact that I feel bombarded means you are way too intense.
Right. Yeah.
Way too intense.
Again, so Dee and I basically share a mind, apparently. So that's because that's pretty much exactly what I'd say. My thing is just
separating siblings.
The pop culture references are just, I mean, Jesus, I can't handle them. I mean, yeah. I mean, so it's the enthusiasm. I mean, like I said, I think his personal story is really awesome, and I love that he's pushed through a lot of things, his bipolar and everything, to do this thing that he loves. And it's great that he's doing it on the biggest stage possible, just about, with SmackDown. But yeah, the between the enthusiasm and, like, I mean, he's got to be my age, right? I mean, he's not like 20 something.
No,
and he's out there making Drake references and yelling about OPP and stuff, and which is that is an old reference anyway.
I cringed so hard when he did that. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. I'm embarrassed for you, Morrow, but he's not embarrassed, so I guess that's fine. But yeah, putting him with Lita and her struggles with talking in front of people, God love her.
God bless Lita. I love her, but yeah, she's not come around as quickly as one would hope. I mean, she's no Corey Graves. She's no Corey Graves.
No, exactly. And yeah, and you know, I guess I totally hear you on Charlie. She didn't bug me. I thought she was better at this than she is at some of the backstage interviewing, where I think she's like very like local sports anchor, which is her background, in her defense.
Yeah. She definitely has that voice.
She's got she's trying to she's not trying to fill, but she's trying to follow in Renee Young's footsteps, which is a really tall order because Renee's really good at her job. So I guess I tend to cut her some slack. But yeah, that was not a good get me. I mean, it's bad when I wish Booker T was there or something because.
Dude, no, it's real bad when you're hoping for Booker T because all he's gonna do is like shucky ducky quack quack and run down everybody because he's really good at running people down. I don't know if you noticed that over the last like 20 some odd years, but
I try to tune him out for the most part, and my ears perk up for shucky ducky quack quack or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So that was it. Yeah, I was a little surprised they only went with 5, but like I said, I'm glad they did. I mean, they didn't. I would have. They could have gone with 4, really. I mean, which is crazy to think that they do a pay-per-view with that few matches. But
well, we timed most of the matches, like not like as good as you guys timed them on each site. Yeah, no, I'm like that's like witchcraft. I don't know. I'm just like, how do you know how? Because I'm like fat fingers. I missed the button. Anyways, but like only the only the Dusty Classic match and the ladies match went under 20 minutes as far as I could tell. I think everything else went at least 20 minutes or more. And I want to say that the opening match went for more than 20 minutes, but I don't know if it was the longest match or not. I felt like it was a long match.
Yeah, and plus it had the opening match, I really enjoyed it. The crowd made it. I mean, both of these guys are really excellent at connecting with the audience. But it sort of felt like a house show match to me. Like a lot of not the entrances, which I think were a lot of what made it feel long, is as great as the choir and everything was. But they did a lot. I mean, they did a lot of like the playful stuff with like the 10 hand gestures and things that you might see more that take up a bunch of time that you would more normally see, at a non-televised show. I felt like.
Well, I was like. I personally loved the choir entrance. The choir entrance was like at first I thought it was just like one person like doing it, and then it was just like this like huge choir, and I was like, oh, yes, look at him, and he's like coming out, and there's like, because he's like a miniature god, but not actually God, like the Christian God, because I don't know, but
a lower God, yeah.
He's just like, hey, I'm glorious. Look at me in this shiny shit. And I was like, I love you. Oh, I love you so much. You're so wonderful. And then he just soaks it in. And I really dig that. I think Bobby Roode just does such an amazing job and with owning that glorious character shit. And of course that, whatever, I could gush about that entrance forever because yay, choir music. But then I was like, Ty was like, are they going to do something special for Ty? Because how do you follow that?
Right.
And he just comes out with his glowing like Zardoz collar, and I'm just like, thank God that everyone loves you so much because that could have been really hideous. That could have been so hideous and sad. But I mean, yeah, no, thank God. Like I said, everybody loves Ty.
Yep. No, I love the choir entrance too. It totally yeah, I mean I just could not smile while that was going on, which is a good way to start a show, right? It's like I'm not gonna shit on your show if you made me grin ear to ear seconds after it started. So yeah, I thought it was a really yeah, but we were talking on the award-winning pre-show a little bit too, though, about they sort of set this set a really high bar in terms of like fan engagement for really the rest of the show to follow. Even like, I mean, because but with both of them being Canadian, both of them, even though Roode is a heel and he's really good at, even though you cheer for his entrance, he gets heat back on himself later.
I wanted Ty to win.
Yeah.
But I wanted Ty to win, but I kind of knew that I just kind of had the feeling Bobby Roode's going to win because I'm under the impression yeah, but I was under the impression it got ruined a little bit later because I was like, I was under the impression that he was going to win to be setting him up for, a feud with the no longer champion. Yeah. Spoiler alert. But I mean, just saying, we'll get to that later. We'll get to all that craziness later.
So what do you think? I mean, this is something else that I've seen debated. I'm honestly not sure what I think about it. Is there like a problem with NXT always putting a guy like like Rude over Dillinger or like Aries over No Way Jose at the last TakeOver? I mean, do you worry about that, or you just worry about, like you said, getting to the next good match?
Well, I gotta say that I'm not worried about it, but I do get kind of irritated by it because I I kind of do feel like these indie guys and or at least the guys with prior experience that's not like small or but like they've been out to bigger shows, they've been on other promotions like quote unquote pay-per-views,
Mm-hmm.
and they've also or they've been on TNA, which whatever. And I kind of hate that they go over the other guys so much.
Yeah.
The more like quote unquote homegrown, WWE people. I think that it would be nice if, especially with someone like that used to really bother me with Tyler
Mm-hmm.
Breeze.
Yep.
I used to get so irritated because when you love the bad guys like I do,
Mm-hmm.
kind of have to like get used to losing. And
True.
I
Especially in WWE. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to get used to being able to watch your guys lose, and I hate watching any of my favorites lose. And I tend to like mostly the bad guys. I'm constantly like going, "Oh, they lost again." But like I really thought that they made Tyler lose way too much, and I think they make
Yeah.
Ty lose way too much.
Yeah.
I think that like it's early enough with like No Way Jose and those guys. I mean, like I think it's early enough where it's kind of okay for them to lose, but they shouldn't be continually losing
Right.
and losing and losing. I think that looks bad. And then you have like Andrade Cien Almas, which
Mm-hmm.
they poor fucker, they screwed him from day one.
Yep.
And I actually feel like that about TM61 too. Like I
Yeah.
think that they messed them up too. And I mean, okay, so you have them debut and the first match that they have, they lose to DIY. Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, who thought that was a good idea? You're Shame on you. Sorry, that's
Who thought
rude, but shame on you.
who thought TM61 was a good idea for a name anyway?
I don't know. I mean, they probably just like were just like, yeah, that sounds good. All right, we'll do that. Yeah, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And then like, at least change your boots so that your initials are now NM instead of MM. And like, okay, Mikey Nichols. Like, none of that is like. I have this theory
Right.
that Shane got to keep his first name because he couldn't possibly remember another name. He seems like such a sweet and not terribly brilliant boy. Really good at video games, though. Really good at video
Oh,
games, but not the brightest otherwise. So he's actually
he's got
great
some
at video
like
games.
physical intelligence, right? I mean, he can throw
I
himself off the
I
bear.
actually really like them as performers, and I do feel bad that they can't seem to connect with the crowd. But I don't think that their name. I think their name is a problem. I think that they don't have any characters yet, which is fine for people like AOP because
Right.
I mean they're just these big dudes who gives a shit, right?
Right.
But like with these guys, you kind of need to give them personalities, or who cares?
Yeah,
And
and they're
they
not.
have personalities, but
Yeah.
they don't have characters, I guess. So
Well, and they
it's
haven't
hard.
been given any like they haven't been given a. I mean, like this tournament run, I guess is great for them. I mean, they looked pretty good throughout. I don't think any. I mean, none of their wins were sort of dominant. They sort of snuck out all of them. But
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
still it wasn't an opportunity to really get to know who Shane Thorne and
Nick Miller.
yeah, there you go. I was going to say Mikey again.
Yeah.
I can't even remember their gosh darn names. That's not a good sign. But yeah, I mean, like I didn't like if it would have been a feud with Authors of Pain throughout, maybe we could have gotten a little bit more of their personalities to shine in just the quick backstage interviews and things. And we've seen a little bit of that where like Shane's the wacky one, and
Because he is for real.
yeah, and that's how they should. I mean, I think that's what the best characters are the real personalities turned up to 11 or whatever, and I think they should roll with that. But we haven't been given enough of a chance to see it. They just, like you said, they got rolled out as just like, here's another tag team, without much fanfare. They haven't had an opportunity to really have a match that shows. I was so excited to see for them to face Aries and Strong because I thought this will be the match where they can show us what they can do.
And then Shinsuke, busted Austin
broke
Aries' eye
Aries'
hole.
face. His eye hole. I still laugh every time I think about that.
Well, that was at my show.
Nice.
My San Jose show.
Were you
So
scared
I saw that up
for A-Double's
close.
eye hole? Was it, how bad did it
No,
look
I
up?
thought it was.
You
You know,
thought it
it
was just
didn't look that bad. I mean, it was not good, obviously, and it had only been a couple of days, but it
right.
actually looked a lot better than it did that one that he'd posted the day before. I was like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. But then, but yeah, I got to see them because Roderick Strong had crashed into the barrier right in front of me. It slammed into my leg, which sucked because it was just
Oh,
metal.
ow.
And but I got to see both of their faces up close, and God, it was huge. But he had, I guess, had put makeup on it to make it look
Right.
less bad, but it was still not as bad as it had been the day before. So that's a good sign for him. He looks like a quick healer.
Good. Oof. Yeah. The broken eye hole. That's a good line, though. That's Austin Aries is a good man. Well, I don't know if he's a good man or not. He's a good performer. Anyway.
He's very strong in his convictions.
There
Yes.
you go. That's a nice way to say it. Well, anything else on Rude Dillinger? I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed it, but I don't know. I mean, I thought it said it was a good. I guess it was the right call as opener, but I don't know. Any other? What you got? Anything else there?
No, they both looked
Took
really
those
pretty.
notes. Oh,
They look pretty. Okay, hold on. Yeah, my roommate actually took notes for me. Shout out to Jane. She took notes for me during the show because she's really awesome, and I was too into it to be able to write anything, especially after that third match that we'll get to. Let's see.
Which this is just the mental picture for me of Dee watching WWE Network and screaming out notes to her roommate, who then jots them down just for this goofy little podcast.
Yes, that's actually exactly what happened.
That makes my day.
That actually happened. Let's see. We got here that Rude is one of the best returns on investment. Returns on investment, that's a business term that I would use at work. And obviously I must have been sitting there going, rawr. No, what a great return on investment. I think with that song, with Glorious Domination, right? That's the name of the song?
That's yeah.
Yeah, so I with that theme and with his performance, and he's actually he's really solid in the ring, in my opinion. I mean, that's a hell of a return on investment, in my opinion, because the crowd is like, yes! And let's see, we put here that Ty looked nervous. Oh, yeah, no, when he came in there and he looked like he was a little bit shaken by either how the crowd was responding to him or he was nervous to be opening the show. I don't know. But I've seen him look less shaky. So obviously I must have thought something.
I wonder if that's I always wonder, and this is one of the things I love about wrestling, is I always sort of wonder how much of that's their real reaction and how much of that is their performance. Because if the build up to this match, I mean, they were very clearly saying this is Ty's biggest match ever. This is a make or break moment for him. And then I don't know if you see the Fallout interview they did with him is him saying, I dropped the ball again. I don't know what it's going to take for me to get over the hump. So I'm sure there were probably some real nerves there, but that fits right into the story that they're telling, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's sometimes it's hard. Some of these guys are such good actors. I mean, they're so good at making you believe that, I'm sitting there going, is he really nervous right now? Is he freaking out because the crowd is huge and crazy loud and tenning all over the place? And, I mean, that chant is super over. Oh yeah, that thing where Bobby, I don't know if they do this at the other house shows too, but yeah, where Bobby gets on his knees and he's like you're the 10, you're the 10. That was at our show. We saw that.
Nice.
So I guess was that it? Did they go against each other?
When they were in Baltimore, we got Aries versus Dillinger. At least, oh no, we got a tag main event, and they were both in it. And they did a bit where Aries wanted the test of strength, and Ty was saying, "Oh, you're saying I'm a 10," and then Aries was mad that, so it was wacky. It was just wacky, good fun. But
I love Austin Aries. Yeah, no, they're funny about that.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, going
neckbreakers seems so high.
Backtracking a little bit too, I think probably the master plan for this show was the sixth match would have been a Tommy versus Aries, but they both got hurt.
Yeah, oh my God.
And I think we'll still get it. Hopefully they get healthy at the same time and they resume that feud. But I think that was probably what they were thinking would be the match that filled out this takeover.
Yeah, no, I would say that. I mean, they could have done another ladies match too. I would have personally liked that anyways, but given how much time they gave 3 of those matches, they did fine. I don't really have anything else to say about that match. So let's
Yeah.
move on to the Dusty Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty
So what do you think about the whole
Classic.
tournament?
Oh, you want my honest opinion, Sean?
Yep, I do. I do.
My,
That's what I
my
paid it
honest
for.
my honest opinion is this tournament kind of sucked.
Yeah.
It was nowhere near as good as last year, and I think that all the injuries totally ruined it. Like, I don't think that what we ended up with, the two teams in the end, I don't think that's who we were supposed to end up with, to be honest. I'm not sure who we were supposed to be supposed to end up with, but I don't think it was these. I think they totally like moved some shit around, and so that we might end up with this. I think that the Atami thing ruined them. I think Dawson was actually injured.
I think he probably had like a sprained ankle or something, because there were those pictures from even before they ran the angle of him on crutches, and they sort of disappeared from the house show circuit for a while, which
Oh yeah, they weren't.
they don't usually do. Like, because I mean, even when Nakamura was off TV with Joe having injured him, he still worked house shows, so they don't really maintain kayfabe on house shows like that to that
Yeah,
extent.
I don't. Yeah, I think Dawson was actually, because we had seen. I remember seeing Dash had done a house show without Dawson
Mm.
as part of like a 6-man tag. He was like the extra guy on with, I think, Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss. I think that was
Okay.
his team. But he did a show, so I'm going to say if he did a show, then, and Dawson totally didn't, one has to imagine that Dawson probably might have actually tweaked something, or and they just wanted to make sure that they could do last night's show. So they were
Yep.
just like, well, we'll just keep them off, because I mean, he could obviously walk and stuff. I mean, he DDT'd Johnny at the
Right.
LA show. So
So you don't think he really had the worst knee injury in the history of the world, but he fought through it because he's a top guy?
no, because he kept saying labrum, and I'm like, your labrum's in your shoulder, bro.
I love that promo so much, though.
I was like,
Oh,
but I know, but I love him too. I was just like, I was sitting there like going, I would almost cry for you if I didn't think that you were
right.
trying to make it sound like you
Even more
are.
ridiculous.
Yeah, like he's
Yeah.
like purposely like exaggerating to make it seem like he's faking it when he probably isn't actually faking it, not 100% anyways.
Right.
And I actually thought Dash sounded really good in that, because Dash doesn't always sound great when he
No.
jumps in.
Yeah.
Like, God bless him, I love him so much, but he's not the best. Like, this is why he's with Scott Dawson, because Scott
Exactly.
Dawson talks
Why they're
circles
perfect
around.
together. Yep.
Yes, they're perfect. Anyways, back to the tournament. The tournament was not great. Like I said, I don't think this was the final match that they had wanted to end up with. I think they were probably aiming to do something a little more like what happened last year, where you get the two teams that you want to be the next level. They're the ones that fail to get past the like super veterans,
Right.
and because it was who was it last year? It was Dash and
It
Dawson
was
versus Balor and Joe,
right.
and American Alpha versus Rhino and Corbin.
Rhino and Corbin. Yep.
hmm
Yep.
And so, you had these, and then, but they both of those teams, American Alpha and the Rival, they looked so good in that tournament, even though they lost,
Yep.
that they were set up to be like a
Yep.
big deal, and then they were a big deal, and I never got used to the American Alpha name. I'll use it. I think it's a
Yeah.
stupid name, but
Mhm. And I especially hate on SmackDown. Don't people like? Maybe it's Morrow, but I feel like people call them the Alphas now or something. I mean, I don't like that. Yeah, I've gotten used to the Revival. I don't think I'll ever get used to American Alpha. That's just a dumb
no,
name.
I still think that's a terrible name. I
And
don't
it's like
care
a
what anybody
heel
says.
name too. It's like
Right?
you're not. I don't want to cheer someone called American Alpha. I mean, I'm a proud American and everything, but I don't.
No,
That
I
sounds
hear
like a
American Alpha, and my first thought is like Lex Luger in his like horrible American gear, and thinking, "Oh, this is sad. Please move. Please
yeah.
leave. Please go
Or
away."
I think it's like some sort of like somebody that like I don't know, some rogue faction they'd fight on Archer or something. I don't know. Like, oh, it's the American Alpha. We must
And they're
stop
dressed up
them.
like dead presidents in
Yes.
like
Yes.
knickers and shit.
Here it goes.
Exactly. No,
Yeah, that's not
exactly.
good. So yeah,
No.
yeah. If you think about it, I hadn't really thought about it until you said that. But if you look back at last year's Dusty, even though I and some other people kind of griped that they didn't use it to put over a tag team, a true tag team, They
No,
used
you know
it.
what? I felt the same way. I felt the same way about the winner because I think that it would have been better to put over an actual tag team. But
Right.
in a year later, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I can see what they were trying to do.
And like you said,
All right.
they set up the next year's worth of stories in the division there because that's where the Revival American Alpha story started. That's where DIY, they weren't called DIY then, but they started to get traction there. So it
Hmm.
really did. I mean, even though a true tag team didn't win it, it was still used to establish everything that came after it, which is pretty
Hmm.
cool. And I don't know. I mean, hopefully we'll be saying that about this year's, but I don't think so. I mean, like you said, I mean, I think the injuries. I don't know what the plan was. I'm with you. I don't know what the plan was, but I think it certainly derailed some things. I was kind of surprised that Sanity didn't win, but I don't know. I think maybe they weren't going to have Gargano and Champ. Maybe they were going to have Johnny and Tommaso win this as a step towards the tag title thing, and then when the injuries happened, they decided they had to get. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think they were even supposed to. I think they were supposed to be on opposite sides of the bracket. Actually, that's my personal thought because I was like, who really
Yeah.
put them together? Like that seemed like I knew something wasn't right when I saw that was
Right.
going to be who the second round fight was. I was like, something don't seem right here. Something's wrong. And I mean,
Yeah.
I think it would have been nicer to put over. And I watched that match with AOP and uh, DIY. Too many initials. Just stop
Yeah.
it. Just stop it. I'm tired of this. I
It
also think
sounds like you're in tech support or something. Like, oh, you have to. Have you tried debugging the DIY? I don't know.
no, I just don't. Oh, I think DIY is also a stupid name, but I might be
Yep.
the only person who will not say glorious things about DIY. I mean, I'm still bitter a little bit
Yeah,
from
that's all
from
right.
their beat my boys. Their
It's
beat my boys shot.
it's it's still real to you. Damn it.
It's still real to
Um.
me.
Well, that's yeah. When I can feel that way, that means they did a really good job, I guess. So, and I'm a little bitter too, but I mean, we were talking beforehand. We're both sort of. I think I lean towards the bad guys, but then a good guy can really. I can end up being more on board with them than I normally would, and I feel like for the most part, DIY. Even though I hate that name, they've sort of gotten there for me. Like I was mad they beat the Revival, but then I watched the post show thing, and they're like telling each other they love each other and all this shit, and I'm like, all right, I'm in. I hate you guys, but you
I
convinced me.
couldn't. I actually watched their thing, and I was just like, "Oh, shut up!" like
You
like
are
that's
cold.
dude. No, no. It's really funny. I was saying this to my roommate last night. I was saying, you know what? I was really into Champ and Gargano, and I was really really loving the Revival, and I was like, oh, if they ever fight, who am I going to choose? Who am I going? But no, the second that it came down, it wasn't even close. Like it wasn't even like I did not hesitate for a second. I was instantly like, I'm on the side of the Revival. I am sorry, DIY, but now we are enemies. I can't do this. Sorry, bro. It
Hey,
was terrible.
that's how it goes sometimes. That's all.
Well,
Um,
it's just funny, you put them together. It's just like, oh, like I'm really a big fan of this, but then as soon as you split up, you realize, no, actually, I'm really only a fan of this person,
yep.
and I never liked this person. So, you know,
That gives you that's how you tell sometimes, I guess. When they go head to head, you got to pick. And sometimes it's easier than others. Let's see. Okay, so we are doing everything in our power to avoid talking about this first tag match. what?
what
So
wonderful
what?
notes did we take?
Yeah. What notes you got there? So I thought. I mean, I don't remember much about this match, honestly. I remember Shane's dive at the beginning.
That was great.
I
God bless
thought.
him. He can actually do some of that shit. You know what? Shane Thorne, I'm going to give him some props here. They put him out like if you notice when they do like a singles match, it's always him.
Right.
And he gets put out there a lot more. And I don't know if that's because they think that he's more talented, or they like him better, if they think he's better looking, or what. I don't know. It's probably the last one. And because Mikey Nichols, Nick Miller,
Nick
he
Miller.
is. well, that's gonna haunt me. You know what? He's Mikey Nichols.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
it. I
name
mean,
that.
that's what we both want to call him. So let's just go with it. Let's not fight it.
But yeah, he's really good, but I guess Shane's flashier, so they give him like the crazier high spots or maybe he just flips better. I don't know. I don't know that moonsault that Mikey did was pretty
Right.
fantastic.
I thought Mikey's whole hot tag was great last night. I don't
Oh
understand
yeah.
why. I don't understand, even for me, I don't understand why they're not, what's not working. Because I look at it, I break it down, like I try to look at it critically. I'm like, yeah, I like that, I like that, I like that. But then I look at the whole and I'm like, yeah, it's not working for me.
You know what? It was something. I think it's something I saw somebody tweet on out last night that they'd said that TM61 looks. It was something like TM61 looks like the default jobbers that you get in WWE 2K17, and I can't totally disagree with that. Well, I think
Yeah.
that they have something that's really special, but we're not getting to see it, and I don't know
Right.
why we're not getting to see it. I mean, they definitely. One of the notes I got here is they need new gear.
Yes.
Right? Like they need new
The
gear.
saggy drawers look isn't working for you.
No, like you know what?
Oh
I bet they've
no.
got great behinds, and we don't get to see nothing. Like, come on, don't be wearing
I know.
diapers to the match, okay? That is not good.
Yeah,
Oh, and also I
I
went to
figured that out a few weeks ago. I'm like, what is? Oh, that's it. Well, they look like they shit their pants. That's a problem.
and also their shit doesn't match, and it's weird, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like one's like this is I'm talking about the orange one and the blue one, and I'm like, okay, that's like Power Ranger shit. Okay, that is not. That's not a way to refer to. I mean, I guess it's easier than the people who couldn't tell Dash and Dawson apart, but
I have no time for those people.
yeah, no, fuck those
That's
guys.
just ridiculous.
Oh, I put out that I had to give a shout out to Paul Ellering's amazing leather suit that he
That
wore.
was nice. Yeah.
It was a sharp ass. Like, you know what? If you're gonna like, that is what you wear to a ring. Like,
Hell
look
yeah.
sharp, look good. You know, like we are dangerous. I'm dangerous, and I clearly am the most badass because I can pull off a leather suit. Because I can tell you what,
Mm-mm.
I can't pull off a leather suit, and you
I used
probably
to
couldn't pull off one
in
either.
my in my 20s. I wore a leather blazer for a while. But I could never do that. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to be. You got to be like. I mean, that's like 1986 Eddie Murphy shit to wear a whole leather suit.
Oh
That's
God, like when he did Eddie Murphy Raw with his purple. Oh my God, purple like
that.
alligator suit. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up over time, but at the time it looked cool, and that's
That was some
something.
skin tight clothes. I could, like I wish I could have
Mm-mm.
pulled that stuff off when I was a small
Yeah,
child.
I know, right? Mm-mm.
Like shark cage dive. Oh, what did you
Yes,
think of the chain? That chain shit. Like, I don't think he. I think that was an accident that he that flew out of his hand,
I think
right? And that they covered.
I watched the GIF a bunch of times. It does look like Shane goes to block it, so I guess he was supposed to block the punch, but there's no way that it was supposed to. I mean, they're lucky they didn't. They maybe they do have a lawsuit. I don't know, unless it was like a total like Party City plastic chain, maybe.
It didn't
But
look like anybody got hit though. Like because they followed the chain right into the
yeah,
crowd, and it didn't look like anybody got hit. Because if somebody gets hit by a chain of any sort, even a plastic one, you're gonna see them react
true.
in that
Yeah,
way.
yep,
Because if you get hit in the face with a wadded up piece of paper, you're gonna be like,
exactly. Yeah.
nobody did that. So I think it must have they
Nobody
lucked out,
no
and it just
sells
went.
a chain shot. Yeah, exactly.
It's true. That's just if somebody gets hit, they're gonna move. That's just
Yep.
how it works.
Yeah,
So what ended up
that was wild. And then I guess that it all played into like the finish. Not, I mean, it worked. It just kind of came out of nowhere. And I don't know. I haven't gone back to rewatch it to see if it really came out of nowhere. If I was sort of distracted by trying to figure out what the hell was going on with the chain thing.
Well, my whole
But
thing when I was watching that, I was just like, thank God this match is short because I don't know if AOP could put on a longer match. I'm pretty sure TM61 could go for another however long they needed to because they seem like
right,
they're pretty fit, like they didn't look tired.
right,
I mean they looked beat up. I mean, again, Shane Thorne, he got his ass whooped. Like and
yeah,
he was taking bumps lately. He's good at taking bumps, and
yeah. He
he
sells
looks
really
really
well. I mean,
good and yeah.
it makes sense for them to the roles. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time too as a team, so they know how to play a babyface tag team. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't make up my mind on Authors of Pain. Like I was really enjoying them in the short squashes. I think I think especially Razor or Razor, however you say it.
Mhm.
He is capable of some pretty impressive shit, like the 2-man Samoan drop that he did on DIY.
That was
And
hot.
I think, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sure Shane was helping a little bit, but it did look like he was climbing that thing with a man on his shoulders and not really breaking a sweat. I mean, he's capable of some impressive stuff, but yeah, they have not. I'm worried if there are going to be like the number one contenders Gargano and Ciampa are going to have the work cut out for them because they still need to be carried in these matches quite a bit.
Well, I mean, and this kind of leads me on to some other stuff that we were talking about last night. Well, not you and I, but that was being talked about on Twitter that I really participated in. And I kind of wanted to back up and you know what? Let's skip this match. We're done with this. Let's move on. Let's move on to the thing we really want to talk about because it was 10:48 and
that's true.
We should just get on with it.
All right, let's do it.
So here's the deal.
All right, do it.
The Revival is the greatest tag team on the planet, possibly in the universe. And here is why, even though DIY won last night, the Revival is still the greatest tag team, and they're not sharing their title with anybody because every match that they have, they make everyone look good. I think I was talking with Lady J last night about this, that, I wondered if, the main roster wishes that they could have matches as good as that. And she's like, or something like that. And then I'd said that all they have to do is have a match with the Revival, and they'll have a match that good because I haven't seen, American Alpha doesn't look as good as they did when they were fighting the Revival.
No.
They don't. I'm sorry. They don't. And, basically when TM61's best match was when they fought the Revival. DIY, their matches are better when they're fighting the Revival. Everyone's matches are better when they're fighting the Revival. And I think that pretty much points out to that obviously the Revival is the best. How can you say anything other than that they are not, that they're the best? They're the best. They're the reason why the tag team wrestling has gotten a huge revival. And sorry, I mean,
it's the right word. You got to use it.
But it is it's they brought it back. They made it exciting, and it's exciting for me because I'm a huge tag team wrestling fan since I was a little kid, and it's nice to see that. And I just don't give a shit when anybody says the Revival is the best, and you cannot convince me of anything else otherwise. Period. There, I said it.
I mean, they've been in. I mean, I think it's hard to argue. I think they've been in 4 of the best NXT matches this year, which I think, in my opinion, puts them in 4 of the top 10 best WWE matches of the year. I mean, because both the American Alpha ones and now both the DIY ones have been amazing. And they bring back tag team psychology in a way that we haven't seen in the WWE in a while too, I think, because they don't. I mean, the no flips, just fists stuff is not only a great catchphrase, but they actually do. I mean, they don't do the high spot stuff. They do. I mean, and even for people who, even a lot of people who want to cheer them, like myself, or who love them, they are so good at being dastardly without being cowardly either. One of my favorite teams growing up, I commented on Twitter yesterday that I like NXT because it reminds me of 80s NWA, and they remind me of fucking vintage Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard because that's the kind of shit they do.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. And
you know what? I know that you love them so much that you'll boo them, but I can't even boo them.
Really?
I can't even boo them. I gotta cheer, I gotta woo. And I tell you, I was a cheerleader at one point in my life, and boy, was I loud, and that has never changed. so I can actually pick myself out listening to a crowd yell sometimes.
Wow.
It's a very particular sound. But yeah, no, but going back to the tag tournament, even when AOP and fought No Way Jose and Rich Swann. That was at my San Jose show.
Yep.
AOP did put forth one of their best efforts, in my opinion, and I was so proud of them that I clapped and cheered when they won. Everybody else was booing, and I'm like, "Yay, good for you! I'm so proud of you. You did so good."
You're like a proud mom.
Well, it was nice to see because they hadn't been terribly impressive, in my opinion. I kind of would like for them to see to go against the Revival, even though they're both heel teams. I would like to see them because I feel like that might actually be their best match because they're going against the Revival, and so far the Revival has proven that, or they haven't given any indication that they don't put on great matches with every single team they go up against. Which I think is very important.
I'm down. And I think that could be. I mean, that's the good thing about both of the types of heel teams that those two are. They could go up against each other. It wouldn't really be a big problem, I don't think. I mean, because AOP is just the force of nature. And now I want that. Thanks, D. Now I'm going to be disappointed if I don't get to see Revival Authors of Pain for a while.
Because it could actually be good.
I know. I think it would be great, actually, now that I think about it. But do you think this is so? Dash tweeted after the show, whatever, like it's been real or whatever.
Real.
Do you think they're gone, or do you think do you think top guys are working you a little bit?
I think they're working us. They have to be because they've got a rematch. They've got a rematch clause, and you know that they're not going to not do that.
That's true.
Unless they do it on Tuesday, because they are filming an episode of NXT before SmackDown on Tuesday.
Right.
At least from what I understand.
Yeah,
so if anybody's going to that SmackDown show on Tuesday, get there really, really early so that they don't have a weirdly empty crowd for an NXT taping.
Right.
Okay? Thank you.
They'll probably be smart enough to like push people down to the front or something. Yeah, they're doing a lot of weird because they taped a couple matches yesterday. They're doing that, and then they're supposed to be taping on both the Australian and the Japanese tour.
I thought we were getting
guess it's the same tour.
Live show. Aren't we getting a live show on?
Are we?
I think from the Japanese leg of the tour. I feel like I read that somewhere. I might be wrong. I might be totally wrong. So don't take my word for it. But somebody go look that up. I would look it up. Except for I don't want to ruin my connection.
Probably something I would have written about, but that doesn't mean that I would remember it. So I know I wrote about it. I know they're doing a steel cage in Australia that's supposed to be taped, but I don't think it's supposed to be broadcast live. I don't know. We'll see. Interesting. So yeah, I think there's a relatively quick turnaround to the next takeover because they're going to do one before the Rumble. So this one, we went from August until November for this one, and now we're going to do another one just like 2 months later. So I think we're going to get I think they'll string out a few rematches. Maybe all three of the title matches. We don't know.
That seems excessive, Sean. That seems excessive. I don't think I like that.
All right, I'll make a note of that.
No, it's just like you know what?
Whenever Triple H always checks with me, it's like, Sean, what do you think? What are you hearing on the streets? And I say trips. I call them trips. Not really. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they do a lot. I mean, NXT is a rematch promotion, though. They do a lot of these.
Oh no, no kidding, really? Were you dead for the first half of the year when it was just Finn Balor and Samoa Joe and Finn Balor and Samoa Joe? And you know what? I got tired of that. No offense to either of those men.
No, I agree.
Legit, like, I'm done with this shit. Seriously, I can't believe that they had him retain at Dallas only to like cough it up at a house show. I was just like throwing my hands up. Don't care. That kind of pissed me off.
I mean, I'm jumping around. I mean, I love Samoa Joe a lot, but if I'm being honest, I have not loved really any of his feuds. I mean, I've liked them. I think they're solid, but I have not been like super worked up about. I mean, he's been in the main event now for a year between Finn and Shinsuke.
I like him in his feuds. Yeah. I like him. I like his promos. I like his attitude, especially heel him. Like face him, not so much, but heel him.
Yeah.
Heel him has been like really good, especially with, and it's kind of a shame that he can't get in there and beat the crap out of William Regal because that would be money.
That's the feud we all want, right? Oh God.
Oh yeah. Like that would be because but anyways, but Joe's performance, especially his talking, has just been top notch. Like, like I'm into whatever he's trying to sell me. It's, can I actually be sold on like the other half? And sometimes with the people who don't speak like their native language isn't English, it's a little bit more difficult. But why don't they just bring managers back and have mouthpieces for them, like they did it for AOP?
And exactly, and NXT is like like I said, it's like it's the '80s style promotion in terms of like the simple booking. I don't know why they wouldn't bring back. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I guess they sort of use Regal as sort of a manager for Nakamura a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
That's not fair. He runs the show.
I know, it's totally not fair. Joe has a total point that William Regal is biased, and that's why
it's true.
Yeah, they need somebody. Somebody needs Regal a cybernetic neck or something so he can go back in. I don't really want to see William Regal fight again because I don't want to see him be paralyzed, but. Man, I mean, even like a few years ago, like the matches he was having with Chris Hero before NXT was on the network and stuff, those were great.
Yeah. Oh, Rigo was good stuff. But you know what? I digress because he can't wrestle, so I want to talk
I
about
know
somebody
we're
who
just all
can.
on we're all fun to take. So what else? So I mean, yeah, there's nothing. I really I don't have any criticisms of that tag match. It's probably my favorite match of the year.
Did you? So really, when you
Um,
have you done the watching the Brooklyn 2 back with Toronto back
I
to
have
back
not
yet?
done it yet. I have not done it
Do
yet.
it.
I'm a
You
little
have
bit
to do
scared
it.
for my heart. I mean, I'm not a young
Dude,
man
no, I know. I
anymore.
mean, you know what? You've already seen. You already know what happens, so it's gonna be okay. I mean, you
That's
might.
true. I mean, when
No,
I
but I
watched
mean, I
I watched Brooklyn back a second time, like a week after it happened, and I still got worked up again. I
yeah,
mean,
same. No, I actually I had said that it might have been last night might have been the best tag match I've ever seen in my life, but after rewatching Brooklyn 2 with it, I was literally like, you know what? I'm not sure about that now. That match
yeah.
was, and you know what? I might also have a bias because even like I like the result of the first match better, but but they were both such good matches. There was just a certain magical sort of flow that went with the Brooklyn 2 match.
Mhm.
But and like I said, I'm gonna like when my guys win. So,
Yeah.
but I think that last night's match may have been a better match, but I liked the Brooklyn 2 match better. So because of the result, because I'm a loser
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
fine.
and
You're allowed
I
to do
just
that. Yeah.
I like
Um,
watching the revival win. Okay, cut me some
we'll allow
slack.
it. You could watch. They won one fall in this one, and I really was kind of
Oh,
convinced they might win the first.
that fall was actually awesome, right? How they I just was
Yeah.
not expecting just all of a sudden, boom, Shatter Machine down. I thought Johnny
Yep.
broke his neck on that actually.
Yeah, I mean they did a really good job of like I was not entirely sure they weren't going to win it 2-0 after that first fall the way they had structured. I think the best 2 out of 3 like you said, I think the rhythm to the Brooklyn match, it's kind of hard to get that rhythm in a best 2 out of 3 falls match
Hmm.
because you have I mean you're going to have those breaks and pretty much everybody knows you're going to get all 3 falls too. So as soon as the first one is done, you pretty much assume
Oh, you
what the
know what?
second.
That's not true. That's not true. There was a 2 out of 3 falls match that was on the main roster. It was a singles match. It was, I think, Dolph Ziggler and maybe Cesaro, and it was
Oh yeah.
it was 2 falls, and I was pissed as shit because I hate Dolph Ziggler, and I was just like, oh, I hate that guy. And we didn't even get 3 falls. We got two. We literally got the 2 out of 3 because they had Dolph Ziggler win them like bam bam, and I was like, I hate that guy.
It's another thing
Hate
we
that
agree on
guy.
because I just don't. Yeah, I got no time for. I never have either. It's not like I used to
Same.
like him, and
Nope,
like
never.
I was angry when he cashed in his briefcase, and
Dude,
that's
weren't you angry
when
that he
everybody
got
else
it in
was
the first
marking
place,
out.
right? You were
That's
angry that he
true.
got,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm just like, I have no, like, and when he stole the IC title from Miz, I just last month
That
I
was
was pissed about that too. I was like,
yeah,
I think this is a mistake. And now they've already given it back to the Miz, which is like,
right.
again, is this a
They
mistake?
acknowledged it was a mistake. Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
some
I
of
don't.
this is bad. Some of this is bad ideas, and it's a lot of bad ideas. And unfortunately, I, I guess it's like you can't really blame Vince 100%, can you? I mean, I kind of do, but I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's all. I mean, that's. I blame him a lot, but not all.
Oh,
Anyway.
yeah, we got 2 matches left to talk about. I mean, I still want to talk about the revival, but I feel like it would be unfair to the other 2 matches to not
True.
talk about them.
True.
Um, I will say, like I was saying on the pre-show, that
Hmm.
um, I had a really hard time paying attention to the Asuka Mickey James match because I was still recovering from the crazy tag title match, and my heart was pounding. I was shaking, and I don't think I was like literally. I think my brain had just gone to another place,
Yeah.
and I could not really. I mean, I was watching the match. And thank God for my roommate Jane, because I wouldn't know shit about that match if she hadn't taken notes for me. Because
I
I,
still
yeah,
don't
no,
even like I said on I don't really remember. I guess I remember some of it, but I had to write it up for the site too, and I don't think I did a very good job of it. Sorry, everybody. Just being honest. For the same
we
reason,
had heart attacks. Give us a break.
I know I was still recovering. I was still a little. I mean, I was still trying to write through my tears.
Your
It broke my heart.
tears.
It broke my heart to see them on Dash and Dawson on the top of the ramp without the titles.
I know.
What
It
are
was
they gonna?
really, really important to me.
What are they gonna clink now?
Their souls.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that was
like it.
awful.
There you go. That works.
No,
That works.
they don't need
Because
to
they
be,
are
they don't,
because Dawson has established that they're machines. So if they have souls, they would probably be made of metal and they would make a clinking sound.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? Here's the thing. They don't. They
I
don't.
don't know what I'm
They don't.
talking about.
You know what? They don't really need the tag titles because, like I said earlier, they don't have bad matches. They don't have mediocre matches. They don't have good matches. They have excellent matches. They have great matches against everyone. Therefore, they truly are the greatest tag team on the planet, in
On
the
the
galaxy,
planet.
whatever. And so they don't need no stinking belts to tell them that they're great, like, some other team that may have just gotten those belts, but whatevs.
They should make a universal tag title and give it to the Revival. So
Do you think that the Revival should go main roster, or do you think they need to stick around a little bit to help build up the tag division? The tag division is a little weak.
It is, yeah. I don't know. I mean,
They're trying. They've got more going on now than they did a couple of months ago. Like,
I'm trying to. I mean, is there? I mean, I don't know. I mean, that would be. I mean, I would love to see them like try to help get TM61 over, even though it would probably involve them losing again, and I know that would be hard for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I would be okay with that though, if that was literally, if I knew, okay, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to help these poor boys do something. First, get new clothes.
I mean, sort of like the way American Alpha sort of like put over Authors of Pain on their way out the door after they dropped the titles. If you did that with Dash and Dawson, they helped to put over TM61 and then went up. I mean, I want to see Dash and Dawson on the main roster, even though they won't get it to as much of a chance to have these kind of matches.
Which show?
But,
which show?
I want to see more. I don't know. I think I want them on Raw because I would like to see them be the ones to end New Day's tag reign. I think that's going to be a big deal. Whoever beats New Day, and because I think they're going to break Demolition's record, and then whoever beats them, that'll be kind of a big deal. And I think it should be the Revival. And I would also like to see Revival versus Anderson and Gallows matches. Those would probably be those would be so good that like I'd have to go and like take an ice bath afterwards because even people watching them will probably be sore.
Have a cigarette and a drink.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, really, the only match that I would be really excited to see them have on SmackDown is Gable and Jordan, and I've seen that match. If that makes sense.
Several times, many times.
I mean, I'm sure they could have a great. I mean, like you said, they can have a great match with anybody. So them versus the Usos would be fun. Versus Beauty and the Man Beast, I guess. But we've seen them wrestle Rhino too.
It's true.
I don't know. Where would you put them?
Dude, we're obviously of the same mind because Raw. Yeah. Like, I don't have any question in my mind because here at the end of the day, like, just based on pure logic, not even my own personal wants and preferences, but I would put them on Raw because Raw has literally 6 tag teams. And honestly, Shining Star, that's their name, right? Shining Stars.
Yeah, Rising. I always get it wrong. Shining Stars. I think you're right. I always call them Rising Stars, which is some sort of like communist movement in Asia.
And Golden Truth. Those are not really teams. Okay, true. I'm sorry, but they're not. They're not really teams. Like if those are your end choices, you just know that is So really, all you have is New Day, Enzo and Cass, Anderson and Gallows, and there's one more. Oh, Sheamus and Cesaro, who aren't even really a tag team if you think about it.
Yeah.
So
and they won't be for long, yeah.
And then SmackDown has American Alpha, Breezango, Hype Bros, and the Vaudevillains, and the Ascension, and the Usos, and Heath and Rhino. I mean, they have they have a tag division. If you have to move a tag team up, I'm sorry, they have to go to Raw. Even if they look a lot like Anderson and Gallows, only better. They're much more handsome, personally, I think. But
they really are, yeah.
I mean, no offense to Festus, but those pants got to go, bro.
No, that's not a good look either. I don't know what the right look for him would be, but yeah, the baggy pleather basketball pants is not.
No,
not a good
no, thank you. But I'm just
baggy capri pants, yeah.
No, look, just don't wear baggy pants. Like this is a no-brainer. Anyways, okay, wait, hold on, let me see. I actually have some notes here for Asuka and Mickie James. Well, we're gonna run back to that. I'm sorry for derailing it.
No, that's okay. I thought it was a good. From what I remember, I thought it was a good match. I thought Mickey looked good. I thought it was a lot like most Asuka matches, though. Honestly, I mean, which are fine,
Yeah,
but I'm sort of
Asuka was selling a lot more in that match. Like
true
she was getting actually kind of beat up a little bit,
at at
you
one
know.
point.
And I think they went. I think they actually went harder than normal. Like
Really?
you would think that. Just a little bit. I think sometimes I think I enjoyed the second Bailey match better, but I think that was probably a better match. But this one was perfectly serviceable, and I think that Mickey James. Yeah, you're right. She looked fantastic. I didn't like the finish. I thought the finish was kind of like. Was that what was supposed to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. This was another. There were a few out of nowheres on this, and this was another one. I thought,
Yeah,
but
I don't. Okay, okay. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I literally have half a page of notes for that one, so don't really have much to say.
yeah,
You want to move on to Joe and Mock before we?
let's do it. Yeah, we're already over an hour, so
Sorry.
we're just like, oh, that's all right. No, it's been a good combo. So I don't know. I mean, I've enjoyed it. Who cares what anybody else thinks?
Okay.
All right, Joe, and so how surprised were you?
Oh, dude, I was completely shocked. I was like, oh, no, did they? Are you? Did he know? Did he really? Is there going to be a no? No. And I think I tweeted,
Yeah.
oh my god, I am so shocked because I was shocked. I was like, oh, I can't believe this. That's
Yeah.
crazy. But yes or no? Are you cool with it or no? Or you think it's dumb? What do you think?
I don't think. I mean, I think it depends on where we go from here. I was completely surprised too. I did not. I mean, I think like most people, and maybe that's part of why they did it. I was like, oh, so Joe will be in the Rumble, and that's that. This is this is an NXT booking pattern. You lose the match, you get your rematch, you lose your rematch, you get called up, and now they've shaken that up, at least for now. I mean. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I guess we'll see. It all depends on what they do now. I think it fits the type of match they had, the result they had. It all fits. I mean, Joe's promo afterwards, even his new shirt makes sense. I mean, it says the inevitable
I love his
on
new
it.
shirt. His
So
new
yeah,
shirt's dope.
he is. His second title reign was inevitable, apparently, and that fits. So I mean, I'm not like yes, this is the right call, but I'm not down on it either.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still like, I can't believe they did that. But
Yeah,
you know what?
I guess I'm still a little bit shocked too. Yeah.
All I could say, I remember saying after the thing, this was not written down, but I remember saying after the thing, I was like, well, he's the first two-time NXT men's champ, but he's not the first two-time champ in NXT. So,
No. Yeah.
like,
Top guys already did that.
top guys do that for real, and they're and they're always going to be the first two-time anything.
That's right.
Because there is there will be other two times. There'll even be whatever, maybe somebody will be sad enough to get a three-time, but honestly, if you're a three-time, maybe you should be on the main roster by then. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Ty Dillinger's gonna get called up, or do you think they're gonna leave his ass down there?
I think they're still. He's a guy. I mean, I think we're entering into like a new phase of NXT development where we might see guys that never get called up. And I think Ty might be one of them. I mean, I don't know how old he is. I think he's in like his mid-30s.
He's 36.
Yeah, I mean, he might be a guy that's like, a steady hand that they can plug into the main event whenever they need to, or they can use him to get over a new act. He's, going back to when Kevin Owens got there, people have said that he's a great hand in the ring. He's the kind of guy you want to work out with to, shake off ring rust or figure out how to lay out a match. So he may be a kind of guy that's a coach performer that they keep down there. I mean, that's just a thought. I don't know that for sure, but I'm kind of thinking maybe. I don't know.
Well, I think he should at least get to be in the Royal Rumble at the number 10 spot.
That would be
like give him some things. Like if you're not going to call him up, at least give him some things. Like my God, that's one of them. That's one of the things that I would do. Come on, the 10 chance would be outstanding.
That would be. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
There'll be enough nerds there. There'll be enough nerds there to be turning all.
Yep. Yeah. NXT people will be known at those shows. So, yeah, that's a good idea. And they can do that. I mean, I don't know. The Rumble will be interesting because now you've got guys from two brands. I mean, they haven't really announced, I guess, whoever wins, you can challenge for the brand you're on, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, how is that even going to work? They're not going to do two Rumble matches, are they, with like one?
I don't think so. I mean, they wouldn't
one
have
for SmackDown and one for...
They'd have to put a lot of other guys in it to get 30 from each, I think. And I think they just got to have one.
Or
I don't
unless
know.
they did like
A lot of people have floated this idea that that's what they should have done with Survivor Series. Like whoever won the men's Survivor Series match should have gotten more spots in the Rumble, so that brand would have a better chance of getting a main event at Mania, I guess.
I think that would have been great, but yeah, the stakes.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I didn't
what
really
they are
care
exactly.
for the stakes that they, because they didn't really put any stakes. And I mean, I know that they're like, I think was it, who wrote the thing this morning that said that like, well, Stephanie threatened their jobs and
I think it was Tanya's thing. Yeah, she's trying.
Yeah.
You know.
No. I mean, those are the stakes, but those.
No, I mean it's more
really
McMahon stuff. Yeah, I mean it's like so then Stephanie can brag to Shane.
Super tired of the McMahons. I'm tired of Shane. I'm tired of Stephanie. You know what though? I love Stephanie, but legit weirded out.
I mean, I like both of them really, but I'm tired of all stories that have to do with McMahon's. And this was my fear when they did the brand split, was that we would get to this, and here we are. So hopefully they have good matches anyway. But
and I don't love the GMs anymore. Like I loved them so much more before they became the GMs, and now I'm like, wow, you guys are making me hurt. I was just like,
yeah.
Sad.
So I know it is a bummer.
Who do you think is gonna?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask you. Like, this is just a throwback. Like, who is now that Joe won? Because I was totally banking on Nakamura winning.
Yep.
And so, like, who's gonna face him besides Nakamura? Are they gonna do this Charlotte Sasha crap? I mean, the hot potatoing? Because I think that would be the dumbest shit, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think they might. I don't know. I mean, they liked it. I mean, they did the one title change on the house show, so they sort of like to give you that anything can happen on an NXT house show feel. I think it's a possibility. I don't know. I mean, if Joe really keeps the belt, I mean, he's a guy that you got to start to wonder, are they ever going to call him up?
Right? And he's close to my age, I think, or he might be my age.
And he's got a lot of miles on him. I mean, I thought this was a great match. I thought they, they built off their past stuff really well. I don't know if I would say it was a great match. I thought it was a really good match.
It was a fine match. It was fine.
They built off their past stuff, but it wasn't phenomenal. He is not. If you go back and watch like a Ring of Honor match from the early 2000s or even a TNA match from around 2006, 2008 time frame, he was a lot faster. He doesn't move like that anymore. So, I mean, he's the kind of guy, like, I feel like if they do bring him up, it's for like one run.
Like, they need to do it soon. He's definitely getting up there in age. I mean, because I can tell you right now, like, I mean, isn't he like the same age as like Cena and that whole group? What I call the 77s and the maybe early 78s, but the 77s, it's like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Titus O'Neil, I think Alberto Del Rio was in there, and
he is 37 years old.
Oh, so
he is a 79.
Oh, he's a lot younger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's that huge group of people who are all born in 1977. Sin Cara was born in 1977.
Oh wow.
There's a bunch of them, and they're all like pretty, with the exception of maybe a couple of them, but they're all pretty like hardcore. Like AJ Styles is one of them. You know, he's 39 years old, y'all. Like, holy shit. Okay. But I feel like they need to bring Joe up sooner rather than later, because at the very least, I just really want him on Raw so I can watch him and Roman fight.
That would.
I think I would be really happy with that, and it'd be fine if he fought some of those guys on SmackDown, but I don't care about that. I'm not gonna lie, I don't give a shit about that.
I mean, that's the same thing too. I mean, I've seen him. I mean, if I want to see him face AJ Styles, I've seen that. I can find it on YouTube. They were great matches, right? But yeah, I mean, they happened already. So. And I'm not that excited about seeing anybody fight Dean Ambrose, honestly. So,
dude, oh my God, are we meeting of minds right now again?
Again, yes.
Because I'm just like, that was my least favorite member of the Shield, and I
get his appeal, and sometimes I can kind of I can pop for him, and I don't hate him or anything, but yeah, he's another guy that just doesn't do much for me, and I don't think he's great in the ring.
Thank you.
I cannot tell you like this great Dean Ambrose match I would go back and rewatch ever. That's not something I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't think of any. I can't even think of any really good matches he's been a part of, and it's just kind of, that's a bad sign, you know?
Yeah.
That's a bad sign. I can think of a bunch that Roman Reigns has been in, and it's not just because I like him. Exactly. some people have really good matches and some people don't. Like any Revival match, that's a good match. Everybody go watch the Revival. Go on
Yeah.
NXT. Rewatch them winning their titles for the first time from the Vaudevillains, who I don't think should have ever held the titles, but that's another story. I could go on about tag wrestling,
There was
honestly.
that Blake and Murphy Vaudevillains period was a weird one in the NXT tag team division. So
I don't know how that happened. Like yeah, neither of those. I mean, and this is rude, probably. Like, but you could have given Enzo and Cass those titles at any point. They were super, and everybody loved them. But you went with Blake and Murphy, who, good lord, what has happened there? And the Vaudevillains. I mean, Simon Gotch got beat up by Sin Cara, you guys. I mean, let's like that is a note.
especially
like,
when your gimmick is that you're a legit strongman too, or something. That's not a good look for
and
you.
a cruiserweight whooped your ass.
Yep.
You had a shiner like you would not believe. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Blake and Murphy are another couple guys that I feel like that's you're an NXT lifer.
Yeah,
I've seen them live. They're fun. I mean, like Blake was great on the house show that we got here. He was a lot of fun live. He's not. I mean, that's his niche is like fun house show opener guy.
Yeah, and it's just kind of. Well, I had to watch them fight each other, and it was uncomfortable and sad. And I mean, the crowd could not have cared less. Couldn't.
Yeah.
There was literally no way to give any less of a fuck. I mean, it was just everybody was like, "We don't care. Please get on with it."
That's probably like their least interesting match, and that's what they want to keep. That's what NXT wants to keep doing. Like it's some sort of hot feud, Blake versus Murphy. Like nope.
Like I don't know what you would even do with them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think Murphy, I think Blake faced No Way Jose at our show, and it was a hot match. People loved it. I'm not a big Jose guy myself, but I respect the skills. I mean,
you love his theme, Sean. You do. You dance a little bit to it when it comes on. You're like, dude.
Yeah, I'm not going to dance, but I'll bob my head. I admit that, but.
I dance every time. The first time I heard it, I was like, "Oh my god, I got the fever! I'm gonna dance to this song."
See, here you are. You're this badass heel loving chick, and then you're like, you mark out the No Way Jose's theme.
Just his theme. Like he's huge, by the way. He's huge.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was
shocked.
When I saw him live. I was like, wow, because he moves really well too, and he's big.
He's a big dude, and like that was kind of one of the things that was weird about him and Rich Swann fighting Authors of Pain was that he was pretty much as big as Authors of Pain. I mean, Rich Swann was like a tiny elfin creature who I love more than life, but he was little bitty, and No Way Jose was basically the same size as those guys. He's just not as thick.
So your weakness is for dancing baby faces.
I like Cedric. I like Cedric Alexander.
I love Cedric too. I don't know. Cedric is just
like how can you not love Cedric Alexander?
I don't know. There's not like it's not even like he's a great promo or anything. But he's just man. I just love that guy. I think they should push him to the moon on NXT first. I think he should be the next. He's the Finn Balor replacement to me. That's like have him
be right. He could
have him be your top guy for like a year in NXT and then bring him up and then shoot him, then push him to the moon on the main roster too.
Because he is always such a treasure. I like such a joy to watch. I love him so much. And then I mean, of the cruiserweights, he was definitely. I was so hurt when I was like, oh, he got kicked out. Like he's finished. That sucks. Oh my god, that sucks. His match was so good.
Yeah.
And I'm a big loser like that. Now I guess my babyface is if you're an I like to be entertained.
Yeah, exactly.
Most baby faces don't entertain me. If you're a very entertaining baby face, I will like you. If you're not entertaining, I don't care if you're a heel or a face. I ain't gonna like you at all.
There you go.
And I mean, like, one person that everybody is bored of, but I still love because I'm still entertained by him is Bray Wyatt. Like, I love Bray Wyatt. I think he's magnificent. I love Luke Harper. I think he's magnificent. I think the whole Randy thing is really creepy and weird, but whatever. That's good. It should be creepy and weird. It should be uncomfortable. It should make you uncomfortable to watch that. But given that they gave up with the whole Daniel Bryan thing, which is not dissimilar,
no, Well, at least they've let this one go on long enough that they've got the whole like Luke doesn't trust Randy thing, which is the first interesting thing they've done with the Wyatts in a while. I feel
That's magnificent. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Like I like Luke Harper being like, I'm going to stare holes through your
Right.
body. And I'm like, I believe that you can do it, bro. I
Mhm.
do. I believe it. And you with your crazy like white streaks in your hair and your bald spot and
Mhm.
your dirty ass shirt that is like legit like 10 years old. Like,
Yep.
by God, just go. Just you're amazing. And all of that started in NXT. Hooray.
Yep.
So I guess that's one of the appeals
All
of
good.
NXT is watching that. Is
Yeah.
starting seeing that stuff before it happens, and then, but then of course now you can also see it not go so hot,
Right.
and it's kind of it can be really disappointing. And there are definitely people who are like, you know, it is a demotion in some ways because now you're not going to be focused on because you're you know
Right.
tiny fish in a big pond, and I get that like people
Yep.
who are disappointed with what's happened with Sami Zayn, and people
Yep.
who are disappointed with what's happened with or like how horribly they botched like the Ascension's call up like.
Right.
I don't even want. You know what? Let's not talk about that. That's some depressing shit right there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a demotion. I know that's just sort of like. I mean, that's the shorthand way to say it. But I mean, you are starting over. There's no guarantee that
Mhm.
because you were, you're not not everybody's going to be Kevin Owens on the main roster all of a sudden. A lot of people are going to have to
Kevin
start.
Owens is probably the most like is one of the most successful from at least from this newer group,
Yeah.
the newer crop.
Yeah.
He's incredible. Like he came in like he belonged day one, and I think that was really important. But he's such a strong performer, anyways.
Yeah.
Like as far
And
as
so
like
and like
his ability, his talking ability, and his like wrestling ability, he's definitely he's a top tier guy in my opinion.
absolutely. And he's both a throwback and like a breaking the mold kind of guy too at the same time. He's like and that's the other thing, like we were talking about at the beginning, you have to be careful to not get too hung up on like, well, it's not as good as it used to. NXT's not as good as it used to be. Well, having Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and the Four Horsewomen all there at the same time, that's like once in a lifetime kind of shit. It's not like they can just. I'm sure if Triple H could just flip a switch and get people that talented back in NXT, he would. But that doesn't mean it's that easy. So
Well, it takes time to find these people because there's people, you know, they've got a million scouts, you know, or not a million, obviously, but they've got their
but
scouts who they send out and looking at stuff, and they have, you know, they have these like tryouts at the performance center and things, and they have all of this going on. They're looking for those people or for people in that vein. They're
right.
still looking for them, and like you know, and the ones that they've kept back there you know, that haven't gone forward. Some of them, like you said, like time may not go forward. You know, I think
Right.
that they should be, if they're not going to bring them up completely, they should at least make guest appearances.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially the well-known ones. Like, do you think that the revival is going to get called up, or do you think they're going to leave them down there?
I think they'll be up soon enough. I mean, I don't know that they're going to show up on Raw tomorrow or something. I mean, not literally, but I don't know that it's going to be that soon. But I think they'll get called up. I think enough people see upside for those guys that there's no point in keeping them
You don't think that
down
that
too much
somebody's going to think
longer.
that they're too small? They're too small. They're not fit enough. You don't think anybody's going to have.
I mean, somebody backstage is probably going to think that, but I don't think they're going to. I don't think it's going to. I don't think that's going to be the prevailing wisdom to keep them down there. I don't think. I think Triple H will. I mean, as much as I am always sort of hesitant to say like Triple H champion of good wrestling, I think if he's pushed them this hard on NXT, he's going to champion them at the next level to at least try to get them a shot. I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
they
maybe they'll wash out up there or something. I don't think so though. I think I've seen them win over enough people who are like, what are these guys? They're bland, they're generic, they're boring, and then they watch a match and like, oh, holy shit, these guys are good. I think they can do that same thing up there.
see. I think that once you see the quality of matches that, or once people see the quality of matches that they can have with any tag team, that's going to be
Yeah.
a big deal. And I'm with you. I want to watch them take down the New Day. I'm tired as hell of the New Day,
Yeah.
and it's not that they're bad or anything. I'm not. It's enough.
Yeah.
It's
No,
enough.
I agree.
It's
I
enough.
think sometimes they still entertain me. I mean, I love that team is out there getting that opportunity. I think it's important to
I
have.
do too. I
I
think
think
it's
it's
great.
important to have three black guys, setting a record like that,
Hmm.
especially after pro wrestling and WWE's history with race issues.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's time. I think it's time for those performers too. I think it's time. I think Big E deserves a solo push. I think Kofi deserves one more solo push. I think Xavier is a great manager. But I mean,
I think, yeah, I mean, and I think he's fine in the ring. He actually has looked a lot better in the
yeah,
past
he's
few
okay.
months
I
than he
mean,
has. But
I just
he's
don't think
definitely,
I'm not going to sign off on an intercontinental title run for Xavier. I don't think. I don't know.
no, but remember when Big E was the Intercontinental title holder, like in, was it 2014? And
Yeah.
they held that tournament to see who he would fight, and it was just him like backstage holding the belt, looking at a
Yeah.
screen
Watching TV.
for
Yep.
like months, and I'm like, this is some boring ass shit. Like, you're gonna have him do something, but I mean, like, it seems like at least they let them do stuff
Yep.
as as a group, and they get a lot of airtime as a group,
Yep.
more time than I bet if somebody actually went back before to like look at their solo careers, they see that they don't
Oh
get
no. Yep.
like they probably get more time in one regular show now than they would have in the past,
Yep.
like all combined.
And I don't think
And
you could turn the clock back and and try to make Big E like a silent guy anymore. I think now that people know his personality, they expect that of him. Whether it ends up being as a babyface or as a heel, I think people are going to want to hear him
yeah, no,
and
I
talk and
think
be
so too.
goofy and everything else. So
I think so too. Or
indeed,
anyways, no, I'm with you. I want the revival to take them down. As much as I appreciate what the New Day has done for everything, and I still want the revival to come and take them down.
word. So as promised, we spent an hour and a half talking about mostly the revival with a little bit of a rest to takeover. So even talking about the main roster as a way to talk about the revival some more. God, we're good.
Sorry.
That's all right. I loved it. And just now, this is serendipity or something. My Twitter on my phone just sent me the hey, did you see the heart attack by the revival gif on my? There you go.
Yes, I did. Oh, we never talked about their pants. I was going to talk
No,
about
all right.
their.
Let's talk about their parents before we sign off to make
I
this
know,
all
an
a
hour and a
revival.
half, and
Yep.
an hour and a half. So, what did you think of their like, we're in Canada and we're going to pander to the Heart Foundation, that. How'd
I
you feel
didn't
about
see it.
that?
I mean, I didn't see it as yeah. I mean, that's
I mean, it was minimal.
I
It
liked it.
was subtle pandering. It was
Yeah, I mean,
subtle
it was a nice
pandering.
and Dawson's on record as saying how much he loves the Hitman
Mhm.
and they,
Mhm.
we look back on it now and we think of like babyface Bret Hart, but he was a great heel. And there's definitely some of that. Like I see the brainbusters in them, but I also see like
Mhm.
early Heart Foundation, just like you know, technicians, dirtbag technicians.
Mhm.
I
I'm with
I
you.
liked it. I liked it.
I thought that they should have somehow managed to keep Dash in his little short shorts that he usually wears, as opposed to the proper. Because I've
True,
noticed those
true.
sorts of things. Like, if you're wearing new gear, I will sit there and be like,
Hmm.
"Hmm, sometimes I'm like, this cut is not for you, or perhaps you should have gone a different way, or maybe never wear this color again. I don't know.
Yep.
Like I specifically don't watch the Hype Bros because my eyes can't take it. And I
Yeah, that's a
love Zach.
lot.
I actually love Zack Ryder like a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Mojo Rawley
Good
terrifies me on
wrestler.
levels I can't begin to
I
describe.
I can never decide about Mojo. I respect the enthusiasm, but yeah, I can't get on board. But yeah, but Zach's underrated. I think I'm
I
with you
love
on that
Zach.
too.
I love Zack Ryder, and Mojo Rawley freaks me out because he wears really crazy colors, and he's one of those people whose intensity I feel bombarded by, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
can't, I
yeah,
can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. You too much, too much, too much. This is unhealthy. This is inhuman. You need to stop. Like, chill it.
yeah.
But anyways, thank you for having me on this show, Sean. This
Oh,
was
you're very
so much
welcome. No,
fun.
we have obviously don't have any problems talking a lot, so we should do this again. So, what are
Yes,
your
we should
final
just
thoughts
just definitely do that.
overall? We're good show, great show. I mean, we know how we feel about the tag title match, but
It was. You know what? I would give the whole show, to average it out, I think A minus, like what you did. It was good. It was, and there were moments of real, just mind blowing greatness, and then
yeah,
there were moments of like, this could have been better,
yeah.
but nobody failed.
No, I thought it was a fun. It was a fun show with a great
There was,
match, kind of.
and I'm hoping. I think the best way to, like, of the weakest match on the card, I think the best way to look at that is this is a taste of the future, and that it can't get any worse than this for these guys.
There
I
you
don't
go.
think so. And it wasn't a bad showing. It was not a bad showing. They can only get better, and just keep
Yep.
that up, and hopefully things will turn around for TM61, and they'll figure out, hey, work with Bobby Roode and Ty Dillinger. They obviously know how to connect with the crowd. Like do
There
something,
you
you
go.
guys.
I
Like,
still, I mean,
that happen.
not to get us off on a whole tangent when we're trying to sign off, but I could have watched a little bit more of the Glorious 10 run. I could have seen them more as a tag team before they split.
Thank you. See, like that's what I'm like. Were they really scheduled to go off right away, or
Yeah.
was that like something that was
I
supposed
mean,
to
it
be
was kind of heartbreaking. They did. I mean, they tugged at the old heartstrings, but I could have seen them drag that out a little bit. But
when like Ty's reaching out and like Bobby, and
yeah, I
Bobby's
know.
like, I'm leaving, and
Yep.
I'm like, but at least we got
Yeah.
Sanity, and that could be cool. So I
Right.
don't know.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for. I think that has the potential to be like the next big like breakout thing from NXT.
I
Is,
think
is
I
that.
think the future's still bright for NXT. I mean, they're in a rebuilding phase, but it's still bright. It's still really bright.
There we
And
go.
if you are giving up on it, then
It's
I
more
I got
for
to ask.
us.
Yeah, I gotta ask why. Like, why is it so? Like, why can't you just give something a chance? You're willing to like, shuffle through the garbage that's on the main roster, and not all of that's garbage, by the way. But whatever.
Right.
But you're willing to like
But
sit
there's a
through
lot
things that are
more of it. I mean,
questionable.
that's that one of the nice things about NXT is it's an hour a week. And if you choose to not watch an hour a week, they do catch you up nicely for takeovers, and then it's only a 2.5 hour pay-per-view. You don't have to sit through 6 hours like we're gonna get tonight.
Oh my
I
god,
mean, not that
dude!
there's they haven't given us any reason to watch the pre-show because they haven't even announced any matches, but it's still a 6 hour broadcast.
I don't think I can watch the pre-show today. I mean, I like who's on it, but I don't know. Anyways, but
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. It's going to be seriously
Yep.
at least minimal 5 hours of commitment tonight, and I'm going to cook through that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll probably be up
That's
and down. I don't know. I'm mostly interested in the men's
yeah.
Survivor
Yeah.
Series team. That one. I'm mostly interested in that one. I'm not interested in Goldberg Lesnar. Is that bad?
No, I mean I'm gonna watch it like a train wreck, I guess, like a car crash,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
or to just see like how they try to book their way around the fact that they probably can't even work a 5 minute match together. I mean,
I
we'll
mean,
see.
oh, I just don't want to see something sad,
Yeah,
and
I know.
and sometimes when you get these like older, it's a little sad, and it's not as it's just dude, I don't know if I can. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. You know what?
Yeah,
But I'm not. I'm gonna like reserve judgment and hope that I'm gonna hope that it's awesome, but not
yep,
be disappointed if it is disappointing. So,
yep.
oh
So we
well.
shall see. So stick with
Yep.
Cage Side Seats for that. It is you are at Our Lady Justice on Twitter, right?
Yep. Our Lady Justice.
That's that are at Our Lady Justice. I'm at S1 Rude, and thank you for listening to us talk about the revival a lot.
Bye.
We'll be back. Bye.